Okay, let's dive right into this. The modern American dream paints this incredibly seductive picture of starting a business. It's constantly sold to us as this magic fast track, right? Ultimate freedom, endless income, complete control over your time, the whole shebang. But what if the exact things we're told make a business successful are actually setting us up for failure? Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to completely strip away those myths and take a hard look at what it literally takes to survive out there.
There's this massive contrast we have to address. On one side, you've got the social media highlight reel promising freedom, fast money, and super easy success with just a few clicks. It honestly makes it look inevitable, like just do it. But the grounded, everyday reality, that requires unglamorous execution, relentless consistency, and constant problem solving. We aren't here for fluffy motivation today. We're getting into the hard, undeniable truths of what actually stops you from failing when you're building something from scratch.
So, to navigate this reality, we've got a roadmap covering 4 main phases. We'll be looking at the setup, the launch, the pivot, and finally, the survival.
Let's kick things off with phase 1, the setup. This is where we tackle ideas and markets.
All right, here is a really crucial truth to wrap your head around. Ideas are almost never the problem. Execution is. So many aspiring entrepreneurs get completely stuck in this trap, right? They search endlessly for the perfect idea. They'll bounce from drop shipping to mobile apps, totally convinced that finding a 100% unique concept is the magic key. But honestly, ideas are everywhere. They are incredibly abundant. It's the solid, consistent execution of those ideas that is genuinely scarce.
Just think about things like cleaning services, vending machines, bookkeeping, local repair services, or even niche consulting. People are making real, substantial money in these completely unglamorous, often ignored industries. In fact, while 90% of those flashy new tech startups crash and burn, a simple vending machine route or a boring traditional business actually has a significantly higher success rate. Why? Because they're solving real problems day in and day out. The uncomfortable reality here is that almost any decent idea can work if you execute it well, and the most brilliant idea in the world is going to fail if your execution is sloppy.
And that brings us to our next hard truth. Markets absolutely matter more than motivation. Look, we hear so much about following your passion, and sure, motivation gets you off the starting line. But let's be real, it definitely doesn't pay the bills. The strongest businesses are built where demand already exists. Weak businesses? They try to artificially manufacture demand out of thin air just because the founder thinks it's a cool interest.
So before you invest a single dime or even think about quitting your day job, you need to ask yourself one pivotal question. Are people already spending money on this? This is literally your ultimate market validation tool. If the answer is yes, you're working with momentum. You've got the wind at your back. If the answer is no, well, you're basically trying to push a giant boulder uphill. You really want to focus on solving urgent problems, saving people time, or reducing their costs, because those are the exact things people will naturally open their wallets for.
Moving right along to phase 2, the launch. Now, what's really interesting about this next phase is how we have to completely shift our focus from planning to the actual mechanics of launching.
And that leads us to another hard truth. Cash flow comes way before branding. It is so common for beginners to obsess over their logos, the perfect color palettes, and beautifully curated websites before they've even landed a single customer. But listen, early-stage businesses do not die from weak branding. They die from weak cash flow. Your primary goal right out of the gate shouldn't be to look impressive. It needs to be generating revenue. Cash flow gives you options, while a lack of it, that turns every single decision into an absolutely agonizing pressure cooker.
So this completely changes how we define our resources. A real asset isn't just the balance sitting in your bank account, it's your actual ability to create value in a marketplace. A lot of people out there think they need massive capital just to start, but your skills, your ability to sell, to communicate, to really understand customers, and to adapt on the fly, those are infinitely more valuable than startup cash. Someone with strong skills can start from literally nothing and grow. Meanwhile, someone with a huge bank account but zero skills, they're just going to burn through all that capital without building anything sustainable. Okay, that brings us to phase 3, the pivot. This is where speed and feedback become everything. Here we encounter truth number 5, a vital reality to grasp: speed beats perfection. Over-planning is basically the silent, hidden killer of new ventures. People will spend months just researching in a vacuum, waiting for the absolute perfect moment to launch. But here's the kicker: the market doesn't care about your preparation. Business consistently rewards fast action over perfect theory. Simply put, the faster you enter the market, the faster you learn what actually works in the real world.
I really want you to internalize this idea. Early mistakes are not failures, they are data. We have to completely reframe this fear of making errors. The absolute most successful founders don't start with flawless, perfectly polished systems. No way. They start messy, they launch anyway, they gather this crucial data, and then they adjust, fast. Perfection is honestly just procrastination in a fancy suit. It delays your learning, whereas speed actually accelerates your success.
And the real reason speed is so vital, it's because customers will teach you everything. That's truth number 6. You can do all the theoretical market research in the world, read all the books, but absolutely nothing replaces actual, real-world customer feedback. At the end of the day, the market dictates what matters. Customers are going to tell you exactly what they want, what they absolutely hate, and what they're actually willing to pay for. But that's only if you're paying close attention.
This all builds into a totally essential business feedback loop. Step 1, make an offer. Step 2, customers respond. Step 3, you adjust. It's this continuous, rapid cycle. The most successful founders out there are not the ones who happen to be the best guessers on day 1. They are simply the fastest adapters.
Now we're entering phase 4, the survival. This is the hardest part, and it's all about persistence. Here is the stark reality that nobody really likes to talk about on social media. Most people just quit too early. The truth is, many businesses don't actually fail in some explosive, bankrupting blaze of glory. They're simply abandoned. The early stage of any business is profoundly uncomfortable, right? And when that discomfort peaks, founders just walk away.
The emotional timeline of a new business brilliantly illustrates this exact phenomenon. Think about it. On day 1, it's all excitement. You feel totally invincible. But by week 4, you're staring at inconsistent revenue. By month 6, you are deep in the uncomfortable phase. Progress feels agonizingly slow, and the doubt is just constant. Honestly, this month 6 mark is the exact graveyard where the majority of people give up. But if you can just persist through that uncertainty, you eventually hit year 2, the turning point. This is where momentum finally begins to build. Your systems improve, and income actually stabilizes. The real difference between success and failure is rarely pure talent. It is literally just persistence through this timeline.
So bringing this all together, successful businesses tend to follow a really simple pattern. It essentially boils down to these 4 pillars. Solve a real problem, reach a real market, generate real cash flow, and improve based on real feedback. If you can focus relentlessly on these core fundamentals, you instantly give yourself a massive advantage over all those beginners who are out there blindly chasing trends without ever understanding how value is actually created in the real world.
We're going to wrap up our explainer today with a tangible piece of homework for you. Before you build a single thing, before you even buy that domain name, ask yourself, who am I helping? What specific problem am I solving? And how quickly can I learn from real customers? These questions matter infinitely more than any life hack or trending online strategy. Because when it comes down to it, business is about executing for real people who have real problems. So what problem are you going to solve today? Take that thought with you, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.